artist best known for her honeyed vocals and someone who is just inherently shy but at the same time has such a fun demeanor during interviews, and not to mention her wittiness and just her quick remarks on her own experiences and opinions, especially when it comes to music. Molly Rankin definitely stands as one of the most influential female lead singers of 2017 and of 2018. If you haven't heard of Alvvays, then you've come to the right video. Definitely a band that I have felt very passionately about for the last year or so. Let's get straight into this video all about Molly Rankin, the lead singer of Alvvays. We're going to start with just a little bit about her, then her overview, and then I'm definitely going to give all of you guys a couple song recommendations if you're new to the band. Molly Rankin was born on July 25th, 1988, and she was born in Toronto, Canada. Rankin first tried her hand at her own music when she went on to release her own solo project, the She EP, with the help of some friends. A project that to this day she still claims she made on a whim and to test the waters of her musical capabilities. After the EP, Alvvays came into the picture. Canadian indie pop group Alvvays emerged onto the live music scene out of Toronto in late 2014 and in 2015 in their promotion self-titled album debut. Molly Rankin blends powerful yet soothing vocals with rhythms that carry influences of pop, electro, and surf rock with a distinct 80s pop inspired overtone. Outside of Alvvays, Molly Rankin can be generally seen as an ambitious but a very carefully paced individual, and more importantly, a leader. In many interviews, you can tell that Molly has enjoyed growing as a musician and growing closer to her bandmates, but she has had to adjust to the exponential rate that Alvvays has attracted fame. In an interview with The Guardian, Molly elaborates on trying to find a balance between adopting a frontwoman persona and being comfortable with her self-image as a reluctant front person. Rankin goes on to state, "When we were starting out, there was some expectation that I would be a certain type of front person, that I would develop into someone very charismatic and comfortable. And that's never really happened," she explains. "But it's not really the school I come from. I don't like to really rock out on stage or have some sort of strange rock persona. Over time, I've learned that I'm allowed to just be this reserved, awkward human." But touring with Alvvays wasn't Rankin's first taste of traveling with a group of musicians. She's part of a bit of a musical dynasty in her homeland, where various relatives make up the acclaimed folk outfit, the Rankin family. That road lifestyle was very different to the one she'd go on to become accustomed to with her own band. To elaborate on her experience of being a legacy of the Rankin family, with their guidance, Molly was able to become proficient on the fiddle by the age of 10 and earned an unparalleled amount of musical knowledge along the way to starting her own band. "I initially went on tour with my family when I was 18 or 19, she recalls, but we were on a tour bus and playing arenas, so my glimpse of that life was a lot different to what we experience as a band currently, where we're pretty much run and gun, load in, load out, maybe there's time for sound check. So I really think we learned how to be compact and quick on our feet and how to roll with different punches in real time." Taking a moment to contextualize the state of Alvvays, Molly Rankin still has every right to be seeking her own understanding of her new profound fame. After taking note of the fact that Alvvays had such an intensive touring schedule for their debut album, then this quote by Rankin definitely gives us a lot more context as to what their current mind state is. "I think it's just sort of about finding the balance of being yourself to exist in plain sight and to also have something left for yourself. But it took the end of a non-stop heavy year of touring, a social media break, and some physical separation from her bandmates to find equilibrium." Molly's role in Alvvays' debut album heavily revolved around her honeyed vocals and her dreamy rhythmic guitar. As Joe Goggins of Line of Best Fit Journal puts it, Molly Rankin's lyrics were by turn impishly witty and quietly devastating. She'd pick apart the lunacies of matrimony and domestic life, with tongue firmly in cheek 1 minute on Archie Marry Me and delivering a crushing treatise on the day-to-day banalities of depression. And her role in Alvvays' second studio album, Anti-Socialites, consisted of the same formula, except this time around, Rankin really had to find the time to concentrate on writing and feeling new things. This creative process even involved isolating herself on a private island to spend time alone with her thoughts. Anti-Socialites is full of pop hooks and sweet melodies, but oftentimes Rankin found herself writing sugary music about her frightening nightmares. Album closer, Forget About Life, takes place in a post-apocalyptic world covered in tumbleweeds. Lollipop, Ode to Jim, mentions taking psychedelic drugs on a bad date, and Already Gone came from a nightmare about a gruesome death. "It's a narrative about being someone crushed by a falling tree," she says. "It's really not a great way to meet your end, but it's also a very mystical, strange way to die." Taking a little to none marketing approach and all but one cryptic tweet, Alvvays soon came back with an announcement about their second album, Anti-Socialites, which I talked about before. And this time, Rankin returned with more daydreaming and fictional stories of loss and love. It's hard for me to not be a little bit biased on the success of the band, and especially just the role that Molly plays inside of the band. When you watch her in interviews, then she just seems to be a very put together person. Like, her answers are very straightforward, but at the same time, they're still just a little bit mystical. It makes you wonder what really goes on inside of her head, but at the same time, she makes it clear that her answers are genuinely what she thinks about. It makes you think that when people have their rise to fame and when they really have to quickly adjust to it, we all tend to expect people to be one certain way, but in reality, there are a lot of very down-to-earth people still left out there. Molly Rankin does a really good job at being one of those people that are still left out there. Pointing out some of my favorite moments that Molly has had vocally would definitely be that in Adult Diversion, she always seems to be a fan favorite in that moment in that song because of her vocals. Her voice is super catchy and just the lyrics really just speak to you right off the bat. But if I had to have a favorite song, then I would definitely say that Ones Who Love You is just a song that just seems very emotional. And if you're listening to it for the first time, I would definitely brace yourself because Molly just sings the song with like a lot of passion. It's really hard for me not to believe that the song means something very significant to her. If I had to recommend any vocal moments on Anti-Socialites, then I would say that Not My Baby, Lollipop, and Saved by a Wave all really include really great moments of Molly just showing off a lot of her vocal range. And it's weird to think that this is somebody that is just so new to the music industry because it just took one debut EP and then just her friends pushing her to pursue a band for her to really just have the success that she has now with the band. Even though Molly will never admit to her success or never really come off as a very just confident person in where she is in life, I can guarantee you that this is a band worth checking out and this is a lead singer worth following. Just something about Molly Rankin's demeanor makes you stick around for more than just her vocals. This has just been a brief overview of the band and of the role that Molly has played inside of the band. Let me know what you guys think of the band as a whole. Have you heard of them? Have you not? Do you have a favorite song by Alvvays? I'm super excited to cover the rest of the members inside of the band, especially because Molly Rankin is definitely the only person that I really know a lot about in the band, so it'll be cool to explore like the guitarists and the other keyboardists. If there are any other bands or any other artists that you guys want me to cover, definitely leave it down in the comment section and I would be more than happy to cover them. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel and leave a comment just saying anything. Just say hey, just tell me what your favorite musician is and I will definitely reply to it. I will see you guys in part 2 of this series of either The Strokes or Alvvays. I promise I'll catch up on some of these other series I haven't finished. I'll catch you guys in the next one.